All right, welcome back. Well, Tim Buckley will join us. I swear I wasn't lying, but we lost his feed to Greensboro. We're hoping to get him back on there. James is with me as well. Lily is here as well. So we're still here. So we'll get Tim back on board. But did want to briefly talk about the Texas flooding with James and Lily here really quickly. We got a pretty sad update today, guys. The death toll has now gone up, but more shockingly, the number of missing has gone up. Governor Abbott said 161 people are still missing. This is just, this tragedy continues, I feel like, get worse every day we talk about it. And a little bit about our next subject, it kind of leads me to this as well. The reason I think this tragedy is so bad is that it was 4th of July weekend. A lot of people were camping. They were a very vulnerable population, people in campers at night next to a flash flood prone river system. And so it was a bad crossover of events, and this is why I think we see this tragedy unfolding here. So we talked a little bit about this yesterday, but obviously we will probably be talking about this more over the coming days, and some of the social science behind this, and why the flooding in general is just a difficult thing to talk about. I tell people tornadoes, while they're dangerous, they're a little bit easier to warn for. People know what to do. They know, hey, I know where the tornado is kind of going, where it is. I need to go to the middle of my house and seek shelter. And flooding, especially if you're on vacation or camping, where is the water? Where do I go? Where is a higher elevation? There's more dimensions to worry about when you're doing with flash flooding. So obviously that has been a big talker. We wanted to give you an update on that. But Tim joins us now. So Tim, thank you for being back with us. I know we had a little technical difficulty there. How are you doing up there, and what are your guys' thoughts on the flooding potential coming up this week? We talked about it in our local forecast, and I know that was a big talker for you as well.
Yeah, it's definitely, sad to see all of these flood problems, Brad. The Texas thing is still unimaginable to me, just how bad that continues to be. But here locally, unfortunately, we are still learning of additional damage, additional problems, and some human life, too. Just within our newscast at 6 o'clock, we learned about somebody that was found in their car in the Graham area. That's right next to Mebane, right there, one of those spots that got about 8 to 10 inches of rainfall. They were in a pond, so they probably got swept away and carried away and just didn't make it. So that does bring that death toll number for our Carolinas number. I think it's up to about 3 to 4 now. So just really, really sad and tragic. And so top of mind is, right, what's going to happen those next couple of afternoons. In a typical weather pattern, I don't think that this flood threat would stand out to us too much, but given the preconditions in those areas, we don't want any extra rain, let alone a 2 to 3 inch. You put up a good graphic earlier today showing what we call the flash flood guidance, which is, hey, how much would it take to flood in these areas? And for our area, it's as little as 2 to 3 inches, which typically isn't enough to cause a flash flood, but this time around, it's something we have to watch for.
Yeah, and these summer storms, 1 to 2 inches in an hour is not really that out of the ordinary, but in this situation, it could cause some flooding. So yeah, flooding is going to be a big talker. But today we do have a guest that we want to bring on, Tim, and we talked a lot about this over the last couple of weeks, and I think there's some parallels with flash flooding because, lightning safety is something in the summer I think people just take for granted. And I want to bring in John Gencius. He's a meteorologist that works for the National Lightning Safety Council and a former National Weather Service meteorologist as well. I met John out at the American Meteorological Society conference. He gave a great presentation out there, and I want to welcome John to the show. Thank you for joining us, John.
Well, thank you, Brad. Good evening, Tim.
So, John, you do some interesting stuff. Your presentation focused a lot about, lightning strikes, the fatalities we occur. Talk a little bit about some of the trends that you have noticed over time with lightning strikes, in particular the fatalities that we see across the country.
Well, the good news is that the number of fatalities has been decreasing over time. If we go back to the 1940s, we were seeing 300 to 400 people killed by lightning every year. In 2001, when we started our lightning safety awareness campaign, we were seeing on the order of about 55. And fortunately, that number has dropped to 20. So that's the good news. The bad news is we're still seeing a lot of people unnecessarily killed by lightning.
And so, John, where is the number one activity that you see that people are being hit by? Like what? I mean, it's obviously outside, but what activity sticks out to you as the one where we're probably not penetrating the safety measures enough for?
Well, there are a lot of activities that are associated with water that lead to lightning deaths. And in particular, the number one activity is fishing. Since 2006, we've seen 44 people that were out fishing that were killed by lightning. And we have to look at the various activities and try and figure out why it might be something like fishing. In the cases of fishing, people may be far away from safety. They may not be paying attention to the sky. They may be looking at the water. And that combination of not paying attention to the weather, along with the fact that you're some distance from safety, is one of the criteria that probably leads to a lot of lightning deaths. So fishing is number one, but if we look at other activities like beach activities where people maybe again a little distance from safety, they may be facing in the Carolinas, they're facing east and the storms may be coming from the west. The sound of the surf may be hiding the sound of thunder. So in that case, the thunderstorms may get close to them before they realize it. We have a very simple rule: when thunder roars, go indoors. You can hear thunder about 10 miles from a thunderstorm, and that's the distance that you can hear thunder. So even if you're hearing a distant rumble, you're already in danger of being struck by lightning.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I feel like there's a ton of myths around lightning and lightning safety in general. Unfortunately, we had an incident that thankfully was not fatal. Actually, while I was at the conference with you, where we had 18 individuals struck by lightning on Lake Murray in South Carolina. What do you think are some of the biggest myths out there about lightning, and in particular lightning safety? I know we hear a lot about not taking a shower or being in the bathtub during a lightning storm. What are some of the ones that stick out to you that maybe are true or aren't true?
Well, probably the biggest myth is that metal attracts lightning. Lightning comes down blindly from the sky. It is not attracted to anything, but metal will conduct lightning. So the important thing is not whether you're holding metal or not, but it's whether you're outside. And that is the most important thing, is that you have to get inside. Yes, while you were at the conference, we had a number of incidents where people were taking shelter under unsafe canopies, or in one case, it was a tiki hut. And they just simply should have gotten to a substantial building or a hard-topped metal vehicle. In the case you mentioned up at the lake, I don't think people were watching as closely to perhaps radar, or if they have a lightning app. Those are things that we recommend if you're going to be outside. And don't be fooled by a storm that's far away. Oftentimes people will see a storm in one direction or the other where you're getting billowing clouds. That's a sign that a thunderstorm is developing. And as I mentioned, that storm can produce lightning that strikes outward 10 miles.
In your time of studying some of these strikes, and especially the fatalities, what sticks out like is the oddest situation where somebody has been hit by lightning in a non-traditional way?
That's actually a very good question, because there are a lot of things that it can happen, but a lot of times it's just something that they're doing just for a few minutes. They just take a simple chance. They might be hanging laundry on the line, but when we look at the things, it doesn't have to be you're standing out in the middle of a thunderstorm. It's just taking a chance, just going from your house to your car. So all of those things contribute to the lightning fatalities. People going out for a walk, walking their dogs, just a lot of little things that contribute to all those fatalities. And since 2006, I've documented almost 500 fatalities now. Each one of those is a very sad case. When we talk about 500 fatalities, we're talking about probably 5,000 family members that were affected, families that were broken apart by that lightning strike. And that's only the ones that were killed. There are also all the people that have been struck and injured that are suffering lifelong debilitating injuries. So with all those people, we figure there are about 50,000 people since 2006 that have been impacted by lightning strikes.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because maybe one of the myths is that thinks that everybody that gets hit by lightning is going to be fatal. But as you mentioned, a lot of people get hit, they survive, but they have lifelong injuries. And in some cases, I have a friend who was hit. He's a firefighter working a forest fire in the mountains. One of those bolts from the blue, the lightning came from a storm that was on the other side of the mountain, which they could not see at the time. And he still suffers neurological impacts. Talk a little about that. What are some of the injuries that people typically receive from a lightning strike that do survive, but they still live with?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, Brad, because a lot of people, we figure about only 1 in 10 people that are struck actually die from the lightning strike. So 9 out of 10 people survive. And the neurological problems, some of those are related to the lightning itself. And oftentimes when somebody is struck, their heart stops. So that limits the amount of oxygen to the brain. So the injury is due to oxygen deprivation to the brain, which can lead to all kinds of neurological and other problems related to the brain. So they could be suffering pain throughout their lifetime. They could have trouble memory problems. There's just a host of things, but some of those persist for their entire life. And in
Yeah.
some cases, they're incapacitated, which leaves them totally without income as well.
Yeah. I think Tim has finally joined us on the line. Tim, did you have a question you wanted to ask John?
Hey, John. Yeah, Tim Buckley here in Greensboro. I have a question about what should people do when they're out and about? We always tell them when thunder roars to go indoors, but to me, what gives me the most concern as a meteorologist is sometimes when it's that first bolt of lightning from a storm. Are there any ways that people can protect themselves from that if it's the first bolt, or what would your tips for people be when they're outside with activities and that might happen?
Well, if they're outside and they're involved in an activity, we do recommend watching the radar because the radar will clue you in on a developing thunderstorm.
Mm-hmm.
Also, keep an eye on the sky, watch for billowing clouds, and in some cases, especially if you're in an area where you can hear well, you may be hearing some crackling aloft, some in-cloud lightning prior to the time that you get the cloud to ground strike. But if you are outside and some lightning catches you by surprise, we want you to run as fast as you can to get to a safe place. And a safe place is a substantial building or a hard-topped metal vehicle.
Yeah, it's really good advice. I don't know if you guys touched on this just a second ago, but there was such a bad lightning strike in South Carolina just a matter of a week or two ago with all of those people swimming in Lake Murray. Did you see that situation? And any tips on people who might be at the beaches or the swimming, or the same thing you just said, just to run as fast as you can if you're out when that happens?
Well, certainly at the beach, we want people to be aware of their surroundings. And as with any outdoor activity, monitor radar and weather lightning apps if they're available. But keep an eye on the sky, not just in front of you. People at the beach tend to be looking out at the water to the east. They're not looking to the west. And they may be able to see some darkening skies or some billowing clouds headed their way. So it's always a good idea to keep an eye on the sky all around you. And then as soon as you start to see any indication of either a developing or approaching storm, to head to safety right away.
Hey, John, I have a question for you. Obviously lightning safety has become a forefront. I think we're doing a pretty good job. I do a lot of support for outdoor venues. A lot of them do a great job. What do you have to say about research going forward? What do you think is the frontier for either lightning detection or lightning research in the coming years that might even give us a better understanding of predictive measures of, like Tim mentioned, pre-lightning forecasting? I look at a lot of some of the GOES data, but what do you think is out there that's going to allow us to maybe predict lightning before even the first strike happens?
Well, I do think what you've mentioned is some of the data that's coming in now from the satellites, some of the detail that we're seeing in the various fields that are available from the satellites, some of the computer modeling where you're able to start, predict when a thunderstorm may start producing lightning. But really, when it comes down to it, we're never going to be able to predict exactly where and when that first lightning strike is going to occur. And it really is a person's behavior that's going to determine how safe they're going to be. So going forward, I think we will be getting better at being able to predict lightning and when it's going to start, but exactly where it's going to strike and when it's going to strike that area is going to be very, very hard to predict in the future.
Yeah. One more question for you, and I'll let Tim finish up with the last one here. But what about some of these devices you see out there, lightning deterrents, lightning rods? There's a lot of companies. Some of them look, as a meteorologist, sometimes I cringe at them. Are there a lot of false, preventative measures out there that people sometimes over-rely on?
Well, we recommend using a national detection network for detecting lightning. In some cases, you get what you pay for. So in terms of accuracy, we think the national networks are much better than some of the handheld devices that you may see. But the combination of using any sort of detection along with what you can see and what you can hear should keep people safe. And when I say see and hear, that comes with the technology as well.
Tim, I'll let you have the last question.
Well, this should be a quick answer. We're going to talk about, is heat lightning real or is it a myth?
Okay, heat lightning is a myth. It is real lightning, but it's just lightning from a distant thunderstorm. So yes, it is a myth. And I will mention, I know you asked about a couple other myths. Rubber tires don't protect you. It's the metal shell of the vehicle that protects you. So there are still a lot of myths out there. But really, I think most people recognize that that the rubber tires are not protecting you; it's the shell. And really, as I said, the biggest myth out there right now is that metal attracts lightning. Lightning strikes wherever it wants and whenever it wants. And in order to be safe, you have to make sure you're in a substantial building or a hard-top metal vehicle at that time.
All right, John. Well, thank you. That's perfect. That was our last of our show. We appreciate you coming on and heed those tips, everybody. Lightning safety is something we all need to take seriously all year long.
Thank you, Brad and Tim.